So if you weren't following me on Twitter, we got a box on the way, is chat. Boom! Xbox Series X. Microsoft sent us, Microsoft sent us Xbox Series X to cover and check out on the stream. Full disclosure, this is not sponsored content or anything like that, but that's what we do on this stream. We play video games, check out video game tech, check out consoles. If this would have probably come next year because it's very hard to get hold of next gen consoles at the moment. So yeah, that's what we'll be covering over the next couple of weeks. And I want to do like a critical review of this as well, because you want to like do thoughts and everything as well. But at the end of the day, we're gamers as well. So like we've been waiting for next gen for like 5 or 7 plus years, right? So at the same time, it's like hard not to be hyped for next gen. So this ain't gonna be obviously live unboxing. I got it last week. I've been putting it through his paces throughout the week so I can give some thoughts on it, right? Because there's no point just doing an unboxing and showing UI because that doesn't mean anything. So I've been covering it for over the weekend, and at the same time, you wanna, so let's watch the video of unboxing, and then we will cover some UI stuff, and then today we'll check out like back compat and like 1 or 2 new games, and throughout the next couple of weeks we'll be checking out a lot of next gen games. I'm working on my unboxing, okay chat? Don't judge me. There's no more shaky cam, but now there's shaky stand, because you don't put the stand on the desk you're using to unbox. Okay, shh, just pay no attention to that. Anyway, back of the box, front of the box, Master Chief. That game got delayed. Hopefully we'll get to see it next year sometime. I had to turn the box to the side, chat, because I didn't want it to hit the stand. Okay, here's mine. Okay, listen. This was spoiled for me, chat. I'm just gonna say up front, okay? I didn't sniff the box. I didn't sniff the box. It was all ruined. After I finished filming and everything, I was like, why did you sniff the box? Wow, never. I'm never gonna do this again. I'm never like filming an unboxing of a new console. I feel like I've broken like a 20-year tradition. So disappointed, chat. No, when you're filming, you're like, okay, you want to film this for like so everybody can see what's going on, right? Legitimately, I would have sniffed box, and I forgot. So it like you're just like, oh, I want to capture this, so it takes you away from enjoying your own time. Anyway, console, the unboxing experiences. I'm probably sure you've seen this already by now. Unboxing experiences is like I like the way they did it and presented it. Like you just open up the console and there's like, I don't want to say shoebox because that sounds weird. You know when you buy like expensive trainers, or like the way they open, she's like, no, here's your thing here. It was kind of presented like that, so I thought that was pretty cool. There's a quick start guide about how you use a controller. There's your warranty. Packaged pretty well on big foam on the sides. This is UK plug version. It's got like, we haven't got like kettle leads anymore, right? The power brick is internal and it's just like that 8-pin connector, I think they call it. Ultra speed HDMI, I think that's what they're calling it, right? So it's not high speed HDMI, it's ultra speed. The cable wasn't labeled, but it does say it on the plugs. And the cable's pretty thick as well. I did check for that because like that's the kind of nerd shit I look at. And we get to the controller. We're gonna pause here again because not live unboxing. Like I said, this is why I was planning it over the weekend, because there's no point in just showing unboxing and UI. I want to give you some thoughts on it. And the controller is like the most important thing you want to give thoughts on. So yeah, like the controller is like a iterative design. So the big changes for the controller is that you'll notice straight away, because we play a lot of fighting games here, is the D-pad. So instantly I was like, oh no, it's circular and it's not like cross-shaped, right? Now, I love the Xbox One controller. Like famously, I use the Mayflash adapter and I use it on my Switch. How do you think I play Pokemon all the time? I actually, use it as my third-party controller on my PC and on my Switch. Go check out the Switch video if you know what I'm talking about. So that's how much I like the Xbox One controller. But after playing this controller, the Xbox One controller feels like a spongy mess, right? Listen to that in context. I love the Xbox One controller. After using this controller, the Xbox One controller feels like a spongy mess. So why do I say that? First of all, the shoulder buttons, L and R, or they're like clicky buttons now, and it's like way more responsive. Like there's like how to explain this? On Xbox One controller, they're responsive, but there's a little cushion on them. So the L and R buttons they've changed, and the D-pad they've changed, and the D-pad is way more responsive. Like way. Like I was going in, nope, I can't use this for fighting games. So I booted up some fighting games. I used it for fighting games. But it's like this is like a personal preference thing. It's good and bad. Like I can't go back to the Xbox One D-pad because it works so well, and because it's like the circular pad, you can roll your thumb in it better. So it's clicky buttons, right? Because of that though, the controller is pretty loud. Like it's very clicky. So I was thinking as a content creator, like, oh, is my mic gonna pick up the clicks? I don't like that. So it is very loud and clicky. But yeah, way more precise, not as spongy. But here's where the thing is, I'm not sure about though. It's the D-pad is sharper. Like if you look at the Xbox One D-pad, it's like the cross, right? And it's like rounded edges. So I don't know if it was like first day and I was using it wrong. I was lifting my thumb off of the D-pad to do like fireball motions and everything. And then after like about 20 minutes, I was like, oh, my thumb feels sore. And then like the next day it didn't. And I was like, oh, okay, it's my brain getting used to, I don't have to lift my fingers off because it's round. You can literally like keep your thumb down and like do circle motions. Like mentally think about how you use the D-pad, right? You are lifting your thumb off to a certain extent, but if you get used to it straight away, and then the next day I didn't have it. But yeah, it's way more responsive than the Xbox One. Don't think of this as the 360 D-pad, which was terrible for fighting games. This is actually like very good. Like half circles, I was having a tiny bit of problem hitting, but that was only because like I was being lazy with my inputs. I wasn't like hitting forward. I was doing like 3/4, like from here, right, and then doing it. So I adjusted to that pretty quickly. It's still got batteries. I know there's left and right all over about the batteries. Listen, if you've got envelopes or rechargeable batteries, that's the one thing I hate about the PlayStation controller. Like I've got a new PlayStation controller a year in, it lasts 4 hours. Like everybody who says, oh, it should come with batteries, or should come with rechargeables, you're just wrong. Like if the argument is they should include a rechargeable battery in it, 100% I agree. Like I prefer user changeable batteries, so if the battery dies, or like batteries like won't last that long, right, you can at least change the rechargeable battery. So what I would have done here is I would have kept it user replaceable because I use rechargeable batteries, but I would have just chucked a rechargeable battery in there. It doesn't come with rechargeable batteries, so maybe that's what they could change. The other big thing with the controller is the texture is completely different. It's like it's not smooth anymore. Like, you know, if you got like sweaty hands and stuff, like when you're using last gen controllers, like of the smooth plastic, you can like feel your hands sliding off of them. And this is 100% personal opinion here. Like my hands are super sweaty, so my hands used to slide off them. I don't know if I like the feel of the new controller. Like I got used to it like 2-3 days in, or it could be just because my hands are like overly sensitive, and that's not even a joke. My hands are overly sensitive. It felt like it's got a rough texture, so you can like get a hold of it and grip onto it better. And I think a lot of people would prefer that because everybody's going, oh, we hate smooth controllers because you can never grip onto them. But for me, I was like, oh, this just feels like tingly in my hands after a while. They've also reduced the size a tiny amount, like the tiniest amount, where the triggers like rest on your like on your forefingers like a little bit better. The triggers were always great on the Xbox controllers. They're still great here. They've added like a little bits of grip on the triggers, made them a tiny bit small. I think the whole controller is like ever so slightly smaller, like just the tiniest amount. So it's like iterative changes, right? The face buttons are exactly the same. They feel like almost exactly the same as the Xbox One controller. I think the sticks and the face buttons are the only thing that hasn't changed. They still got the rumble triggers, and then they got the new share button. Like, you know, I use a capture card here and I stream and everything, so I won't get much use out of that. But if you want to post online or record your footage, we get to that later when we cover the UI. There's the new share button that takes you straight to that menu. But yeah, if you like, I'm like, I got so many rechargeable batteries. So and when I say rechargeable batteries, I should point out, I'm not talking about the play and charge kit, because apparently there's some conversation online. They've changed the shape of the play and charge kit. So the old play and charge kits won't work on the new one, which is a bit of a shame because Xbox has gone out of their way. They're like, let's be honest, over the last 4-5 years, Xbox has been very prosumer. They already said last gen controllers are going to work with current gen. We want all your accessories to go forward, unlike on PlayStation, right? Your DualShock will only work on back compat games. It won't work with forward next gen games. Here is totally different. You can totally use your old controllers and everything. So you would have thought that they would have made the battery compatible. Maybe it was just a size thing because the controller is a little bit smaller. Like I said, that's why they couldn't do it. So yeah, that's all. That there's 2 cables in there. There's the controller in there, and let's get to the main show. Packaged very nicely, and I'm gonna take my time here, chat. I don't want to hear no comments about why you taking so long to take off the sticky tape, because this is the second thing I'm talking about. Okay, first you have to sniff the boxes, and second of all, you have to keep your boxes. Don't be degenerates and throw away your video game boxes. I saw the Microsoft Xbox community manager going, it's okay to throw away your video game boxes. I was like, unfollowed, blocked, muted. What is this man talking about? Keep your video game boxes, okay? Keep them. I collect consoles and games and everything. Maybe that's just me. I would like be super curious to know in my Twitch chat, and it's gonna go up as a highlight everywhere on YouTube and stuff. How many of you keep boxes? I'm legitimately curious. Anyway, so I was trying to take my time. I was like, okay, can't rip the packaging. Then I just got frustrated after. I was like, ah, get out of here. It looks pretty slick, chat. I'm looking at it right now. Like, you know, this is like recorded a couple of days ago. It's not as big as everybody said. It's heavy. It is super hefty and heavy. 100%. Size wise, not that big. Anyway, USB on the front. There's a sync button. There's the power on button, and there's the eject button. There's like the built-in stand, because I feel like this console was made to be stood upright, but it just won't fit in my entertainment center. That's like the big air vents, and like they've painted it green. It's not a green light or anything. On the hold on, we got a on the back side also. I've, you know, handsome hands here. I gotta cover the serial number and everything. That's why I've got it there. 2 USB ports on the back, Ethernet port. Chat, we play a lot of fighting games on the PlayStation. Okay, we do cover like Tekken DLC, whatever. You're gonna see the Wi-Fi indicator because my Ethernet cable had to come out. Had to go into this bad boy. I was like, oh no, if we cover Tekken DLC now and they've added a DLC to do Wi-Fi indicator, dun dun dun, you're gonna see Wi-Fi indicator. Anyway, so Ethernet cable came out the PlayStation and went in here because I went to check the download speeds and everything, and this is what we'll be covering everything on going forward, right? Next gen, whichever one it is. Power lead, one HDMI, other, like, you know, Xbox One did is like a DVR and you can record and all that stuff. They got rid of all that, none of that. And here's the expansion port that we covered loads. There's a video up on the channel on YouTube somewhere where we were talking about power and specs and like the expansion port, right? This is how they're handling like expandable storage. On PlayStation side is going to be user expandable. You got to open the lid and you can put in M.2 drives, right? With Xbox, they've partnered with Seagate, and I think they've come out and said that they're going to partner with other manufacturers to do like expandable storage. So in here it's just because people have done like unboxing, like took this apart and see what is in here. Obviously I didn't get one of these, so the best way to show it is like a picture, right? So this is what it looks like. This is just the cover, how you like protect it when it's not in the system. They're tiny. They're like the size of a, like just a bit bigger than a PlayStation 1 memory card, if you remember those, and they go into the back. If anything, I think this whole system is so slick. Like if you don't want to open the top of your PlayStation, put in the M2 drive, or even with the older PlayStation, you got to put in the laptop drives, whatever. It's just like plug and play here and it works. So these are like, at the moment, they come in like 1 terabyte form. And it's like here in the UK, just over £200. Or like in America, they're just over $200, and that is pretty pricey. If we're gonna be honest, like next gen is all about downloading, you know, games on hard drives, SSD. If you haven't watched our like that video I did like a couple of months ago, it's on the channel somewhere, where like the big change for this generation is going to be, right, everything's SSD, quick loading times. So this is why they need this type of storage, right? And even like this type of storage in the PC space is expensive. So I think for 1 terabyte, like this speed drive is like 140. So this has got like a tiny bit of a markup at the moment. Tiny bit is a little bit of a markup at the moment because it's external and it's like slick and easy to do. I wish they would have put this on the front. Like I think it's so slick to do, and we're gonna end up getting these eventually, right? They should have put it on the front. I don't know why you put it on the back. Like I feel like everybody's gonna get these when the price comes down, because they've like I said, Microsoft has been very prosumer like over the last couple of years, right? Regardless if that was they weren't like the leading platform for last generation or whatever it was. That's why I say competition is always good, right? Because companies will always try to fight for the like get your dollar, right? So you can like get into their ecosystem. That's why we got Game Pass and things like that. So they went out their way to say like they're gonna get, I think they're gonna get more manufacturers in, and like there's no way, in my opinion, like we'll come back to this video in 2 years, right, and be like, you was wrong. But I don't see it where they're gonna like keep these marked up to try to make money off of these. They want storage to come down, right? Because they want people buying the games. They don't like, you know, this isn't like 360 era where it was like tiny hard drives and they were super expensive, right? Because if you famously look at the PSP, like that was like the main down factor of that, right? Where like storage was so expensive. So I would be shocked if like over the years storage just generally comes down and like sizes don't increase and these things don't get cheaper. You know, like over the next few weeks we're going to come in like covering loads of next gen games and everything for everybody at home. When they get whichever system they get, they're going to buy 1 or 2 games, and over a couple of months they're going to have a couple, right? Like day one I'm already going to be covering like 7 to 10 new games, so I'm already like borderline maxing it out. But that's not going to be a problem for everybody else for the next couple of months. But you know, so like last gen games, you can connect a normal USB drive, like a laptop drive, and like all your last gen games can be read off of that. But if it's a next gen game, it has to be on the internal, because it's got 1 terabyte built in, we should say. Like that's the big thing for this. Like PlayStation didn't have 1 terabyte. This has 1 terabyte built in, so better value for money. Like after it's formatted and everything, we're gonna see in the system UI, it's like just over 800 gig. So it's got plenty of storage already in there. But like the new Call of Duty is like 100, 200 gig, right? So, you know, that space is going to be consumed up pretty fast. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this. Anyway, so like expansion port, it's easy to do. Anybody could do it. You don't need to know anything about opening consoles or whatever. Just like plug it in like it's a USB stick. Simple. So like let's keep an eye on this and let's see where the price goes. And you would hope once again that it comes down. But all in all, it's like it seems like a pretty slick system. So yeah, that's the back. I have to check it for, I have put in a disc in there. It's like not too loud. There's a fingerprint magnet. I should have probably cut that bit out. Nobody zoom in to get my fingerprints. Okay, now what we're gonna switch over to is some UI stuff, and then we'll go to live capture. The reason I pre-recorded some of this stuff is some of the UI stuff is like behind personal information and password lock and everything. So first thing you notice straight away, right? I gotta go up and down. It's just like how fast everything is. Is like originally I was saying, okay, I'm fine for like with my current gen for a little while. Yeah, I'll see that. Oh, everything's just so smooth and fast. It's like ridiculous. This is the one of the things I was noticing straight away. So with the Xbox UI, they've actually pushed out this UI update to like their last gen consoles as well. So if you've got any of their last gen consoles, they've pushed this like universally. This is what universally this is what they're going for. So like you have your home screen and their folders is basically what their groups are, and now so you can totally change the organization of this. You can add groups to that home page, change the order. You can delete stuff what you don't want. If you don't want Game Pass on there, you don't want to store on there, you can remove that. Like both consoles are coming in so hot. By the time I recorded this, like the guide as well, you can change the order of this. This is when you press the middle Xbox button, what shows up. You could change the order and everything. Like both consoles are coming in so hot. By the time I recorded this, which was like 2 days ago, there's already an update and they've already changed this. I'll get to that in like 1 second. Like this is what you got to know about both consoles, depending on whatever you want to buy. Whatever, like somebody asked me in chat, like, you know, which one do I get, where everything, and I said like I'll give my final thoughts after this video, like 10 if it be 10 days long. Like both of them are coming in hot. Every week there's updates, they're sorting stuff out, which I'll cover over the like hopefully. So here the other big changes is like themes. Like you couldn't do themes before on Xbox. You could do like if you want like light theme or dark theme, and then you could change it depending on time of day where auto does it. But all this stuff where you can change your colors now, this is new. Like so you'll see me changing the colors here, and also like you can set your own custom background art. Like you can set your achievement art. The big thing for me is the dynamic backgrounds, and this is what I said that literally changed like yesterday. Like so it's got like a dynamic background, and it will be depending on the color you used. They've updated it now. There's more selections for dynamic backgrounds. This is also why this is not going to be like a review, because like I think it's ridiculous to do reviews of consoles like first couple of weeks they come out. Because anybody who's been gaming long enough, we know that what these systems are now is not going to be what they're going to be in a year. Like everything around it is going to change. They could change UI, they could change like how you operate, how it works. Like look at Xbox OG when it first came out to how it was like last year when we covered it. Or even PlayStation is a totally different thing, right? So this is why this is going to be like initial thoughts and just using it for a week and see how it is. Because like anybody worth their salt knows you cannot review a console like day one, is because it's more than just what the hardware is, right? At the end of the day, that doesn't really mean that much. Anyway, so like when you bring up the cross media bar, remember I told you about that new button on the Xbox controller? So when you press it, it would come to here. Again, I can't talk too much about that because I ain't used it, because I capture everything with a capture card. But you know, streaming from your consoles and like capturing footage and tweeting and all that, that's like a thing that started last gen. You can continue it here. I should have actually checked the Twitch integration stuff. I didn't mess with a lot of that, I'm gonna be honest, chat. Like your party chats, your audio, your trophies, achievements. I'm sorry. That's all here. We're gonna go to like, this is what the main you'll use, right? My homepage, and then this is like the next big thing with Xbox here. So like, so I've been using this for like a week now, and this is my first regret when I've used this. Honest to God, no bullshit here. Not because I got reviewing it, whatever. I was a big PS3 fan, right? Like I didn't have a 360. I did all my gaming there, and I'm looking at my PS3 library right now, and I've still got my PS3 hooked up. And the biggest annoyance to me with PlayStation and everything is like they don't respect the PS3 library or PS1 or PS2 library, because back compat is terrible on those things, right? Here, like Xbox has been working on this for years. This isn't a new thing to this console. If you got Xbox One, you also know back compat was great. So I go to my games library and it's like 14 games there. And if I was like, if I had a 360 now, this would probably be massive. I literally went to eBay, and I'm not gonna tell you what games I searched for because I'm super famous. No, just joke. Not a narcissist, chat. I swear to God. Like I went to eBay and I was like, oh, how much is this game? How much is this game? How much is this game? Because I wanted to be able to just have my because we've only got a set amount of space under our TV, right? How many consoles can we got hooked up? I've got 4 or 5 there now, but I ain't got that much more space. So I was like, oh man. I was checking their back compatibility list and I was like, oh, should I just get on 360? Because I want to play this. So I was on eBay over the weekend going, oh, and some of those games are gone like up in price. So yeah, like you can see your games that you owned here from current gen, last gen, even OG Xbox games. Then you got your like app section here. They like a lot of this is like what was in their original firmware, but they've cleaned it up now. They've added more filters and stuff. And here's where you come to your full library thing. Like owned games. You got your games with gold. You got your Game Pass, and you got your EA Play. The EA Play stuff, they've just added in new, right? If you got Game Pass Ultimate, you can get access to EA Play. So yeah, here you can see like all my games. It's a lot, but the amount of games I've got like from the 360 generation is like insane. So, you know, back compat, we know that Xbox does well. But this is also why I said the consoles are coming in hot, right? Even though back compatibility, they do well, hands down, it's not even a question, right? Like, this is why I always say it's good for big companies to be fighting with each other, because you know who benefits at the end of the day is us, the consumer, right? If one company is giving us like fantastic value or anything and the other company is not, then they got to fight for our dollar and we get a better thing. So like, let's look at like next gen now. Like PS4 is PS5 is backward compatible with PS4. The new Xbox Series X is backward compatible with Xbox One games. Like, you know, like before, like this kind of stuff was like kind of unheard of, right? Like a new console generation comes and is fully backward compatible with last generation. Sure, we kind of had it to an extent on like PS2. Anyway, I can't say unheard of because we kind of had it to backward. Like PS2 did it, then they kind of dropped it with PS3. The early ones did it. You know, the Nintendo stuff like hardly ever does it. But like, hopefully this is like a standard practice now. But you know, when Xbox put its full weight behind it, then like everybody's got to pay attention. Other companies got to pay attention, and hopefully like this is how it is now. You like your previous gen library goes forward with you. So this is why like I said I was gonna do initial thoughts at the end, but here's some like initial thoughts here. Because remember, I was like, my biggest regret was like, oh, I wasn't in on the 360 generation. So you're like, okay, who is this? Like, obviously this console is targeted toward gamers, right? But like, so if you're an Xbox person, because the initial question is, oh, what console do I buy? You know, which one is better, all that stuff, all that jazz. But like the questions are more like, oh, where do your friends play? Which exclusives do you like better? And the next question that has to kind of be here, honestly, now is, yo, did you have a 360 and then you moved away and you went to PlayStation? Like, if we look at numbers wise, because I'm a stats nerd, like how much PlayStation sold, how much Xbox sold, like, you know, Xbox lost like what, 30 million customers from the 360. Now, if I was one of those 30 million customers and I've got an Xbox library, I would seriously be considering coming back to this console. Like, hey, like it's just back compatibility. It's like, that's a me thing. I don't know how much back compatibility is important to everybody else, but like, that's what I spent Saturday doing, chat. Not playing this. Well, I did spend playing this, but I was on eBay. I was like, oh man, I would, you know? So yeah, anyway, like your games with gold, they still do that. Like, you know, PS Plus, like your games with gold only stay there as long as you have Xbox Live, and then you could play your games with gold. If you don't know, because I'm sure, right, like next gen is coming out, we could have like people only had a PlayStation, never owned an Xbox before. If you don't know what Game Pass is, quickly, Game Pass is their like Netflix like subscription service where you pay a fee a year, and then they have like 100+ games that you get to that like circle in and out like a Netflix movie style, that you can try and play full games, depending on if you continue to have that subscription. They've got like different tiers of it. So originally they had Game Pass, and now they've got Game Pass Ultimate. So Game Pass is you get to play all those games just on your console. Game Pass Ultimate is it comes with the Xbox Live Gold. But Game Pass Ultimate is also so you can play those games on PC as well. And Game Pass Ultimate also comes with EA Play. So you know EA has their own subscription service where you pay a fee a year and you can access all of EA's back library, whatever. Ultimate now comes with that also as well. I'm gonna have to double check on the gold thing. If gold like this is like PSN Plus, right? If that comes with the normal Game Pass and price wise, because you gotta kind of talk about this. So it's like 100, right? So if you say like PS Plus or Xbox Gold is like 50, so put another 50 on top of that, and that's what Game Pass costs. Because I don't know how many people would like. You might get Ultimate. Like we're hardcore console gamers here, right? I do some gaming on PC, but mainly console here. So like, even though it's cool that Game Pass Ultimate comes with like the PC stuff, the only reason I've used it over the last couple of months is because Flight Simulator is on there. Microsoft, if you're listening, bring Flight Simulator to consoles, please. So like, that's the only reason I used it. It's cool to be able to access all your library there, but I like console gaming. But now the Ultimate comes with EA Play as well. So if you like a lot of like EA back catalog, it would be there as well. The other big thing here that you should like jot down a note, because even 47 games for my library seems big, right? I actually didn't like purchase 47 games. One big difference here with games with gold is, you know, on PlayStation Plus, if you get a game for Plus, you can only have those games as long as you got a Plus subscription. With here is with games with gold, as long as if it's a 360 or an OG Xbox game, once you like hit the download button and add it to your library, it's permanently added to your library. You don't need to continue to have an Xbox Live Gold subscription to have access to your 360 or your OG games, OG Xbox One games. You get them permanently. That's why I got Virtua Fighter Evolution. I didn't purchase it. It was, and even if I lose my Game Pass subscription now, you still, so as kind of pog, you'll still have continuous access to them. Let's quickly go into the EA Play stuff here, just so you can see what's in EA's library. Like Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered was there, and we just covered that a couple of weeks ago. So like a lot of their newer stuff is coming as well. I don't know if Day One FIFA and all that comes there, but anyway, this is just having a quick look at like Game Pass Ultimate. The other big thing with Game Pass Ultimate I should know is first party Microsoft games will always be in Game Pass. So like if you want to go like value for money, like literally like let's say the new Halo drops or the new Gears drops, day one it will be in Game Pass. This just sounds like a big Game Pass advert now, right? No, because I famously said last generation, like sure, like PlayStation sold better and everything, but I was like, one of the best things to come out of last generation was Game Pass, because that's how much of a fan I was of it. You know, I've got Ace Combat there downloaded. I haven't touched it yet. But yeah, so all like Xbox first party games will always stay in Game Pass. Like third party publisher games, they'll circle out and rotate just like Netflix style. So like I think this, like last generation, this is one of the best things to come out. Depending on how you consume games, if you like to purchase them, like to own your games, if you only buy a couple of games a year. Let's go into the like update manager here. This is where you'll see your updates. If you look at the like updates here, it's where you'll see your queue and stuff. Like they got their network transfer feature on. This is such a Windows thing, right? Like if you update and somebody in your home network already has that update, it'll be faster to download. They have that here. You can keep your games and apps like auto updated to have your console in sleep and everything, which you'll check out in the power section. I like to turn this off because I'm on a meter here, chat. Cautious with my electricity and everything. When I turn my consoles off, I want them to be off. So that's like a personal preference thing. Let's see. But the reason I talk about Game Pass so much there, it's like fully integrated in. Like after I get in this console, this was another one of my thoughts. I was like, because if you don't know, there's Xbox Series X, obviously PlayStation 5 come out, and Xbox has put another console out, which is the Xbox Series S. It hasn't got a disk drive, it's not as powerful. they've targeted toward 1440p. Realistically, is targeted toward 1080p. After looking at all this, I was like, should I get a Series S for the other room? Because like hands down already said Game Pass is great. I was like, should I just use it as my Game Pass subscription console? If you're gaming on 1080p, I should note here as well, this is all captured through 1080p at 60 hertz. Obviously this is the 4K box, but stream, and this is on Twitch, so it's gonna be 720p. So like it comes with 800 gig of the 1 terabyte. I've got like 300 and whatever gig free. Some people are, we're gonna talk about quick resume in a second. Some people, like, they haven't confirmed this, but we think that a lot of this, like 80 gig is taken up by quick resume. We're not 100% sure yet. When I get more into quick resume, that will make sense in a second. When we go into live footage. Yeah, so the other big thing here is like the TV display options. There's been so much discussion around this, right? So these are 4K consoles. And the other big thing is they support 120 hertz. Now, anybody who's had an Xbox Series X, sorry, not Xbox Series, Xbox One X is gonna name. They could have probably done better on the naming, if we're being honest here. Xbox One X was also targeted toward 4K. It had the 120 hertz option in the menu, but like I don't think maybe 1 or 2 games used it. Anyway, so you got the 120 hertz option here. This goes up to 4K. Maybe like the box said 8K, right? Somebody rewind and go check out the unboxing video. Like this goes up to 4K, maybe 8K. You know, I got it connected to the 1080p capture card, so you can only see 1080p here. The other big thing here was they support 1440p. And PlayStation doesn't. And a lot of gamers, especially at 120 hertz, like most of the TVs that do 120 hertz are just coming out, or it's in the PC space, right? Our monitors, or like a lot of our monitors do 120, and a lot of our monitors are 1440p. So you know, there's already outcry that look, Xbox supports 1440p. Come on, PlayStation, do it also. But yeah, this has support for 1440p, which is a great thing. So that's something that should be noted here. Again, the reason you don't see 4K and all the other resolutions here, I've got it connected to 1080p capture card. HDMI sec there for auto everything. Is you got your help screen there that will tell you like if your TV is 4K compatible and everything. We're gonna quickly pause here because we're gonna get into the nerdy stuff here. First of all, pour one out because there's no 3D options here. Why did they get rid of 3D? All right, 3D's dead. All right, whatever. Okay, but it was still great on those Batman games. Anyway, if you look at this on Xbox One, there's actual 3D toggle here. Got rid of that. Let's go over all these options. Allow 50 hertz, allow 24 hertz. This is mainly for your video content kind of stuff. So like if you watch Blu-rays and all that, because you know these are ultra Blu-ray players as well, who uses physical media, but you know they are very capable like Blu-ray players. Another side point about these systems coming in hot, there was a bug found with the Blu-ray player on the Xbox. They already tweeted out, oh yeah, we found that bug and it's going to be in the next update. Like, you know, keep in mind, like, stuff is changing daily here. So you got auto low latency mode, which basically puts your TV into gaming mode. This is like, so both of these consoles are next-gen consoles are HDMI 2.1 spec. So, okay, like I said, this is gonna be nerdy chat. HDMI 2.1 supports 48 gigabyte a second, right? That's the full HDMI 2.1 spec. From the testing the community has done so far, the PlayStation only supports 32 gigabyte a second, and the Xbox supports 40 gigabytes a second. Like, if you're like really nerdy, the reason that is important to you, if you want to go 4K, you want to go 120 FPS, and you want to go full chroma, 444, is limited. Both consoles are limited by like what bandwidth and resolution you're coming to. The reason I say this is really nerdy, is very limited. How many of us have got 120 hertz HDMI 2.1 telly auto low latency and everything, right? This is why I say it's good that it supports 1440p, and I keep going on that I'm capturing this through 1080p, because I'm not upgrading my TV anytime soon, especially with what's going on in the world. So like, do not worry that, oh no, it's 4K and 120. It totally, like, I can confirm here that it's totally backward compatible with at least HDMI 1.3. And I'd be surprised if anybody's even got a HDMI 1.3 telly even anymore. So yeah, it like all your old tech, HDMI tech with, it will work. Anyway, so auto low latency mode is the new HDMI 2.1 spec that puts it into auto gaming mode. You got allow variable refresh rate. This is another interesting thing to talk about, because you can only get this on Xbox at the moment. PlayStation 5 hasn't got this. Some quarters are saying they don't know if they will add this. Some people are saying if there's enough outcry, they might add this. This is a, like, I reckon like less than 1% of the market may have this at the moment. Like, you would hope, like, years down the line, you know how 3D came with every single TV? You would hope that, you know, 120 hertz or variable refresh rate, these are just standard built-in things, right? Years down the line. So these consoles are very forward thinking. You would hope. We don't know. We'll see how it goes. Like, console tech is one thing. How TV tech goes is a totally different thing, right? They can't judge for that. They just add these features in, and hopefully it sticks with everybody. But auto allow variable refresh rate is basically FreeSync. If you're like a PC gamer, or like G-Sync from NVIDIA, or FreeSync was the thing that came from AMD, this is basically FreeSync rebadged. So like FreeSync technology started to come into TVs because there was less from AMD, there was like less not subscription, there wasn't that much of a fee involved, right? So it was easier to get those into tellies. That's why you saw cheaper monitors with FreeSync over G-Sync, because NVIDIA charged more for that tech. So you have loads of FreeSync monitors. This is why it's important that there's 1440p in there, right? Because there's loads of FreeSync monitors out there at 1440p. So what this does is it changes the refresh rate of your monitor to match up with the game, so you get less screen tearing on things like that. At the moment, again, this is just nerdy stuff because a lot of people ain't got that telly. So you got the allow 4K option here. What's interesting here, I don't know if I was reading this wrong, but it said you can allow 4K, and the description kind of made it sound like, oh, like, yeah, you can make it for, and it will up-res everything. It will up-res everything, and like, you can still play at 1080p, but it will be super sampled. I think that's what it meant. And you got anybody in the chat and YouTube comments, if you're watching this back, if I'm wrong, let me know. You got allow HDR, and the other big thing that this console does is auto HDR. HDR is the big thing that is coming out with tellies at the moment. So for what they've said is for like OG Xbox games and 360 and Xbox One games, we got some filter option where we're gonna try to automatically add HDR to like older games. People have been testing this out and saying, well, in some games it works great and some games it like not so great. So like, toggle this on a per game basis or test it out, see how you like it. Again, you've got to have a HDR telly to even make use of this, but this is an option, again, that isn't on PlayStation. There's gonna be a lot of comparison here, right? Because people are like, oh, what console do we buy? So there's gonna be like a lot of A/B stuff. So this is like another thing that you only see here. And they have got support for Dolby Vision. If you don't know what Dolby Vision is another form of HDR. It's like Dolby's version. It hasn't picked up like massive amounts of steam yet, but it could do potentially in the future. If it does, another thing, they have it there if you've got a Dolby Vision telly. This is like so nerdy, I'm not gonna even get into allow chroma subsampling. The next thing, this is like my neck of the woods, right? We're gonna also get into it. I've saw no videos on this. What is wrong with content creators? Why isn't nobody talking about the audio options? Oh, here is your just like further the video fidelity stuff. Like, you've got for HDR, you need like 10-bit minimum. So yeah, just like going back to the video here, you got like the color space options here. You got like the bit depth. You got 8-bit, 10-bit, and 12-bit. And then you got the PC RGB standard. You can have it on standard or you can have it on PC. Don't use my settings. My settings are calibrated to my TV and my capture card and everything. But like, obviously, if you want to connect it up to a monitor and everything, it has all that options here. But yeah, like this is the one thing I was like, why isn't nobody talking about this? This is the first thing. I went to these options before I went to the TV options. Okay, listen, like, remember how I said, if you like, this is new technology, and I hate it when technology doesn't like work well with old technology. Nobody's going out and buying, especially with what's going on in the world right now. Nobody's gonna go out and buy a 4K 120 hertz HDMI 2.1, even though specs haven't been like fully, like, TV manufacturers and like AV receivers are still trying to work it out. Remember I said these consoles are coming in hot and new updates are coming out daily? Like, there's reports right now the latest Denon like AV receiver doesn't work well with like the new NVIDIA graphic cards and the consoles, because the HDMI 2.1 is so new. Only PlayStation, Xbox, and the 3000 series NVIDIA cards fully support it at the moment. So even those are like, TVs are getting updated to like make everything function properly. So like, a lot of people are going to be using old tech. So a lot of people have sound bars. A lot of people still have like home theater systems, and they're not going to have the latest HDMI spec. So I went straight to this and see if it had bitstream out. So it hasn't got an optical port. Unfortunately, none of the next gen consoles have. And the reason that was important to us gamers is a lot of these headsets, right, used optical ports to get like 5.1 sound. It hasn't got that. There are workarounds for that. Again, way out the scope of this video. But the important thing here is it does have bitstream out. And when you say it to bitstream out, you can have legacy codec support for Dolby Digital and DTS, which is super important, because like a lot of those legacy headsets and legacy home theater systems and a lot of those sound bars, they support bitstream out, but they don't support like the newer codecs. Again, this is like super nerdy. A lot of people won't understand. If you're curious though, it's there, and I have tested Dolby Digital, your TV with ARC. Your TV's got to support ARC, and because it hasn't got an optical port now, your TV has to support ARC, and it has to have support for DTS or Dolby Digital. My TV has support for Dolby Digital, so I managed to get 5.1 sound out that way. So if you're curious, it's there. They have like it seems like they're doing a lot of stuff with like Dolby. If you look, when we go to headset here as well, it has got like Dolby Atmos support for headsets and everything as well. It's kind of a bit weird, because I think you have to buy a separate license for the Atmos stuff. Even on PC, that stuff works kind of weird. Like the Atmos sells an app or something, so if you want to get like certain codec support, but it is there in the system. I'm not 100% sure how that works. Let's quickly go into the power save options, because this is where like you have your energy saver mode and you have your instant on mode. If you want the console to boot up quicker, or you want it to do auto updates in the background, that's like the two options you toggle there. And there's another screen where you know, auto updates and auto system updates. Again, I'm on the meter here, you know, so I like to turn everything off. That's just me. It is there if you want it, if you want your console to boot up quicker. These consoles boot up quick as it is. Again, coming from like PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox, I had an Xbox One S, like fast anyway, couple of seconds, like, you know. So finally, let's go into the store, and then we'll get into live UI. The reason I recorded all this stuff again as well, because I didn't want to expose my personal information. Store is super quick as well. Like everything's just fast on this stuff. Like, we're gonna, like, this is another one of my thoughts, right? Initially I was like, you know, they say if you play everything at 60 hertz, it's hard to go back to 30 hertz. But once you're playing at 30 hertz, it doesn't matter that much. It's the same thing here. Like once you've experienced like quick UIs, it's like hard to go back. Like everything's SSD now. Obviously the processors are better and everything, so it's gonna be faster. Like let's quickly boot into live capture and let's talk about one or two of the other big things, and then we get to games. And like I've been using them over the last week, and how I think they're way more important now. And that might just be a me thing, because I've got less time as a working adult now, so I don't know if this is gonna apply to everybody, but like time saving stuff is like super important. All right, so give me a second, we're gonna switch over to live gameplay. All right, so let's get right back into, now we're in live gameplay capture or console capture. So I said this is why I said everything is coming in hot, right? They had an update just like yesterday. Already stuff is changing. If we go to my colors, uh and background stuff here, if you go to dynamic backgrounds, you have all these options here now. That's why I was also saying, right, this is a tiny thing, but like that's why I was also saying that it's like can't be reviewing consoles, right? Like day one. It's just like it may be great for clickbait for YouTube stuff and all that, but it's a way bigger and important decision than what they are day one, right? Um, like I put out a video a couple months back talking about power spec and everything. Um, we're gonna get to that in a little bit minute, in a minute. Well, not in a minute, in a little while, because there's such an important conversation to have around that. What we're gonna quickly show off here is the another big feature, which is quick resume. So if I so quick resume. So the thoughts behind, because I've been keeping an eye on what they've been saying on Twitter and like a few of the forums that the Xbox devs have been posting on. So remember we was talking about that hard drive space, like we got like 800 gigabytes free. Like some people are assuming the reason like you haven't got more free is the quick resume takes up a little bit of space. Um, and after the console was launched, there was loads of talk around quick resume in the preview period, right? But they did put out a tweet to say, "Oh, we found a bug in quick resume, so we're disabling it for a lot of games." This is why I continue to say these consoles are coming in hot. So they have disabled it for a couple of games, but with the games that it does work with, if I just quickly show you here, you'll see a quick resume pop up in the top right hand corner, and it will just load right into the game. So you can go continue and just start playing straight away. Now, initially, I was like, oh, yeah, or like, like whatever, like the SSDs are so quick. How much am I gonna use it anyway? But if I boot into something like Forza here, um, and I do like a non, like just a clean boot here, um, and we'll see how long it takes. And with quick resume, this would be in about a couple of seconds. And this, even if you power down your console fully, even with a power down console, it saves into a state in your hard drive, so it boots up that state. So even if you fully shut down your console, they will still quick resume. But again, everything doesn't support it at the moment. And from what the devs have been saying on forums, like people have been asking, why don't you just like state in the menu like what games support quick resume and what doesn't? But I think their plan is literally we want everything to support everything to support quick resume. Like just like everything. Old like previous gen games, 360 games, just like everything. So like that's still, even with SSDs, like obviously this is a game that has been updated to run on Series X. So this ain't using the full new RDNA 2 architecture. Um but it still gets a boost from like SSD stuff, right? Not Ori works with quick resume. It's just even with SSD stuff, it's so quick. And me being like, grown ass boomer, working and everything and always so busy, like once you use it, I was like, oh, okay, I totally get it now. I like even with SSDs, it's just so fast. Like, look, now I'm gonna go back into the fours of the quick resume because I must have can't like you can quit a game. Like, look at the difference. Like both ways, right? Both ones still on SSD. I know Forza ain't fully taking like having access to like RDNA 2 architecture, but it's still so much faster. So the way they're doing it is I can fully quit out of a game here. And if you quit out a game, it doesn't quick resume. If you like bring up your home menu and you switch on the fly, then it will put it into its quick resume state. So we think it's about 3 current gen games are quick resume, and you can mix and match it with OG Xbox games, 360 games, last gen games. So like it's gonna you like it's gonna balance out between how many you can do. And I think this is what they probably have to work on to kind of make this clearer. Sure, they want everything to quick resume, but like maybe like have a notification, oh, this app is in your memory, and when you load one more new game, this is going to be out of memory. Like I would like to see that. But yeah, initially I thought I'm not going to be using that much, but like clearly we've seen it with a game like Forza there. Like it can be like 20-30 seconds, right? Or it can be 5 seconds. So for me, especially if I want to do a quick race in Forza or just drive around, it's legitimately does make a big difference when they get it fully up and running. Though I've seen Forza crash on me a couple of times. Like it has a couple of bugs, but their end goal is everything uses quick resume and it works 100%. Right now, until they get rid of like all the bugs, and they've went out on Twitter and blatantly said, "Oh, we discovered a bug, so we're disabling it for a lot of games, a lot of the next gen games." So like we got to see how this feature pans out, right? But if it works as intended, I can see me like booting it up and using it for my games that I constantly play, my CODs, my FIFAs, my Tekkens. You know, everybody has about a couple of games that are in rotation. I cover a couple, like 100 games on the channel a year, but like everybody has their couple, right? You like everybody buys 10, 20 new games a year, but like you're gonna have that one or two. I would definitely use it for those. And then there's the whole online component of like, you know, some of these games access like online. So we booted up Forza and it says, oh, you've lost connection to the internet. They've got to kind of make that seamless. With Forza is you just press X and it will connect back on, because this is like a live kind of service game, right? That is always updating in the background and everything. So that's the other big feature. The next thing I want to talk about is just the whole, like the upgrade experience is okay. Listen, PlayStation, Nintendo, if you're watching this, they're probably not going to be watching this. Oh my days. Like I had an Xbox One S. I'm coming up from Xbox One S. I was getting my hard drives ready, gotta put everything to the cloud. What saves do I need to take off? None of that. The cleanest upgrade experience I've ever experienced. Ever. And I feel like Apple phones was a clean upgrade experience. I just connected your PC and blah, blah, blah. No, it's just literally, it was so good. I thought it was like, no, it can't be this good. And I had to go Google, wait, is how it works? Because I don't want to, because I was going to give the S to one of my family members. And I was like, oh, I don't want to lose saves and stuff. Okay, for saves, literally everything syncs to the cloud. If you've got an internet connection and you're connected to the internet and signed in and everything, like periodically, everything syncs up to their cloud. That you don't need gold for that. You don't need to pay for their online subscription for that. It just does it. It's in the back end. That like I synced games that I haven't played for 3 years, and I was like, oh wait, did I have gold by there? I didn't even know. This was so long ago. Like it just worked. Everything that I've checked, old games, like the reason I can't show it now, it only does it the first time. So the first time you boot it up, it does a sync thing. I might be able to show it with No Man's Sky. Hold on. It does like a sync thing. And it says, oh, we're just loading your save from the cloud. And it does the same thing for settings as well. Here it is. It's just syncing data. Did you see it right there? Flash so quick. And then it saves that data to your console. And that's it. You're now, it has your latest save. There's no, put it to hard drive, whatever. It just does it. It was so like clean. Hold on. Can we do it with, oh, Rainbow Six has an update. Otherwise we couldn't do it with that. So yeah, I was like literally Cuphead, Castlevania, Minecraft does it. They've got their built-in thing. Killer Instinct, just quick. And then when you boot up the console, it can kind of like the EA stuff, right? Like if you played an EA game before and we remember your controller settings and everything, it does that for the console as well. It like remembered my privacy settings and how I like all like little stuff like that. It's boom, boom, boom. And it worked so well. I had to go. I was like, okay, this is probably going to break, right? I should take my saves off of my last console because I don't want to get bit in the butt. Like a couple of months online, they was like, no, if you've got a constant online connection, it just does it. So like, and it did it so well, I had to point it out because everybody's getting, okay, like Nintendo's so terrible, or like with PlayStation, okay, I gotta connect my, like get my save and do this and do that. No, like if you, other companies, if you're paying attention, why? We've got the internet now. why isn't it like this? Even on PlayStation, you have to manually sync to the cloud and manually download. Some games you can't do it. I understand for some games you can't do it because people like to save scam and cheat with their saves. That makes sense. But if it's like just all auto done and they just take care of it on the servers, I can't go back. Everything should be like that. And this is also why this console, like, would do some early final thoughts here. It's like it feels like an iterative experience because like this UI they've added it to the last gen consoles, but the Xbox One, this feels like a upgrade to the Xbox One X. And it's because the Xbox One X was so good, right? For last gen, it was the mid-gen refresh. It was the most powerful console out there. They did all the back compatibility stuff. The back compatibility stuff works here. Another thing I should put out about the back compatibility stuff, like they've said, right? We want everything to work other than some like Connect games and like edge cases like that might not function, right? But even like day one, like everything doesn't work 100% at the moment. Um, they're planning to, but like so, Burnout Paradise wasn't working a couple of days ago. It's just totally working now. So like that's why this is the one thing I'm gonna keep continuing saying. These consoles are coming in hot. But again, they've said we just want everything to work. Unless it's like some edge case scenario, it needs a connect where everything. We want all last gen games to work. With regards to their 360 and their OG games, they have said, "Oh, we got a curated list because that takes more work, right?" So like they've got hundreds of those games that they keep adding to. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Like day one, like if your favorite game doesn't work, they're probably working on it. What they've said is that we want to get everything working, but these consoles are coming in hot. And this isn't just their thing here. I'm sure you couldn't. At some point when we cover PlayStation, we'll talk about there, like everything that is going on in the first couple of weeks of release of PlayStation. And this is why we also have to talk about like power and like specs and stuff a little bit more. And this is gonna get a little bit nerdy now as well. All right, so all your Game Pass games here, they will have like a Game Pass. If it's on Game Pass, if you own it, it won't show. Like I own Siege. I've got the disc for it. Is in the tray right now. But at the same time, it's on Game Pass as well, so it'll show Game Pass next to it. And if it's like a next gen game, right? It would be like it says 360 there. It would be kind of cool to say, oh, this is the next gen. This Devil May Cry Special Edition, that's the next gen. NBA 2K21, this is the next gen version. Planet Coaster is the next gen version. No Man's Sky and Forza have had updates. So I wish those were a little bit clearer. Hopefully they change something there. Yeah, and everything's just been fast. And like the other big changes, like for downloads, like last gen consoles wasn't making full use of my internet. So here I'm seeing stuff download at 200 megabytes plus a second. Is so quick, and the installs are quick. And again, if you're like, I was talking about quick resume and I was talking about the SSD sizes, like all of this adds up to like, oh, I was spending so much time like navigating the menus, waiting for the thing to boot up. I was like, that's fine, I couldn't wait. But like once you realize, oh wait, mentally that is a kind of barrier for me, because I was going, I gotta boot up the console. It's probably gonna be an update for it. We're probably still gonna get updates and everything now, but it's faster, right? And I gotta turn the game. It all adds up to like, oh, I'm saving so much time, like on next gen consoles, like all of the quick resume stuff and all that. Like, it's hard for them to message, like when you're seeing it in a video, how is this gonna be useful to me? Like, it's useful to me as in like, I really don't want to like spend time waiting around now. And now that I've experienced it, right, for next gen, it's harder to go back to like last gen now and like, oh wait, man, it borderline seems broken. Because when I was testing the save stuff for Forza, I went back to Forza on last gen and I was like, wait, did the game freeze? I was like, oh no, it takes a while to like boot up. I was like, oh, okay. So that's the main stuff that I've come away from. I'm like, oh, that's pretty nice. But it's also why I say like this feels like an iterative experience, right? Because this UI they brought back to last gen. also a lot of the backbone and the work for back compatibility they did on last gen. And they're bringing a lot of that forward here. It was fantastic on like that Microsoft did it last gen. Don't get me wrong, but this is also why it feels like an iterative experience. Now finally we're gonna come to games, right? Because that's all that matters. All of this stuff, all of these features, none of that. All that matters is the games. How are the games gonna perform? And what is first party going to be like, what is third party going to be like. Famously, if you haven't heard, Microsoft bought Bethesda, so they still haven't really announced yet, because Phil Spencer's been out there to say, look, the deal hasn't fully gone through yet, so because of like legal reasons I can't like say much more. But you would expect those games to be first party, right? And if they're going to be first party, that means they're going to be on Game Pass. That might be exclusive here, we don't know yet, because Xbox has to booster. That's the word we're gonna go with. Booster its first party lineup, right? But like me, like this is like a personal thing. Like we cover between 60 to 120 games on the channel a year. Like most people don't probably play that many games a year, right? And if we look at whichever Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, whichever console you like, there's going to be about 20 or 30 bangers, right? From first party, they're like, okay, these are must own for whichever console you got. But generally, so that means that equals to what, like a couple a year. But generally, when I cover a lot of third party a year, so I have to, what console do I want to cover, and where do I want to play those third parties? This third party is very important to me, and for me, is performance wise, right? Like where does the third party games perform the best? And at the end of last generation, that was Xbox One X, because it was a mid-generation refresh and it had the power. So like before the consoles came out, there was loads of talk around spec and everything. And on paper, I say on paper, this was the more powerful console. Now, this has been another talking point over the last couple of weeks that we should all fully be aware of. Because even before I got this console in, I've been saying to my community for months that, oh, you know what? It's looking like I'm probably gonna get an Xbox first, because third parties are probably gonna run better there. If you watch like your Digital Foundries of the world, a lot of the initial launch lineup has kind of been buggy on Xbox, and they've run a little bit better on PlayStation, to the extent where The Verge did an article on like why are they not running as well on like the console that is meant to be the most powerful console, next gen console out. And like Phil Spencer came out and like had to say that, yeah, like our we was waiting on AMD for certain specs for their chips, because they famously said that we fully support RDNA 2.0 and the full GPU specs, and they kind of hinted at like PlayStation doesn't. And like the specs wise, they are like way 2 teraflops. Teraflops? I think it was teraflops. 2 teraflops like more powerful, but we're not seeing that at the moment. But like for any of us in the console space or the PC space, like no fanboyism here, right? Straight up, this is what we should be saying. So now that like Digital Foundry's getting their hands on it, it's like, wait, it should be the other way around. So they've said that now devs have started to come out and said that, yeah, we've got our dev units in late, and the Phil Spencer's come out and said we're a little bit behind on where PlayStation was, because they had their dev units out earlier. This is why I also say it's gonna take about 3 to 6 months, even a year, to get like a fuller picture of what's going on in the space, right? This is why it's not about what are these consoles right now. It's like, what are they gonna be in 6 months to a year? What is the first party lineup gonna look like? Where is third party gonna run better? This is like why it's like very interesting at the moment. So this is like the stuff we have to keep an eye on. That's why I say is like the bigger question is, oh, not which one do I buy? It's where are your friends playing? Which one has the like first party lineup you prefer? Where do third parties run better? Which one is better value for money? What is stuff gonna look like 6 months down the line? Do I need to buy this like day one with scalping, and these are so hard to get? This is why I was like, after like playing with this for a week, and it's still very early on for me, it's only been a week, the first thing that came to my mind was, yeah, this feels like a upgrade, right? And the second thing, I was like, god damn, I wish I was like I had a 360 and I was in the 360 ecosystem, because me as a collector, and I love to play old games, I had been having a field day. Like borderline, like I was like, okay, let's see how everything works here, and I might start a 360 collection. So if you was one of those who, oh, you was a 360 gamer and you went to PlayStation, and if you got a big already, you still own your 360 library, like I would seriously be looking at this console going, whew, because in the grand scheme of things, this is a personal opinion for me. I wasn't the biggest fan of last generation. It was great. There was great games, but it didn't do anything crazy big for me, right? Like I've been asking that question on my chat. Like if we're gonna rank like from Nintendo, like your favorite generations, right? Which ones were you? And I like famously I said like last generation I would throw out, right? Even because it didn't do enough crazy stuff for me. It was like sequels and everything looked better and cleaner, but it wasn't crazy experiences. But like that Xbox 360 and PS3 generation was one of my favorite generations. But like I don't want to boot up those old consoles to have access to all that, you know, because I've only got a limited amount of space under my TV stand. So uh I hope the promise that they're putting out 6 months down the line on both ends, this is cleaned up and this is what we like. We get to have a full experience, like Game Pass, like back compatible works, quick resume all works. The on paper power specs that they're saying that it has a big advantage shows up. But this is why I'm saying this is not a review. These questions cannot, like, no fanboyism here, cannot be answered right now. And anybody who is trying to answer these right now is silly. So all you got to look at right now is, okay, what's coming down 6 months down the line, because with the pandemic and everything, you know, both systems, PlayStation I'm talking about, are like they're getting like system updates weekly. So just gotta watch this space, right? So talking about all that stuff, now we got all the like my initial thoughts and everything out the way. Let's boot up some 360 games. Let's boot up some last gen games just so you can see them working. And then we'll quickly cycle through some next gen games. The next gen games will only show up for a couple of minutes because we're going to do individual first looks on these, like an hour each. It's like 5 or 6 games we're going to be covering, like Devil May Cry, NBA, Tetris Effects. We'll be covering what's Ubisoft's new Phoenix Rising, Immortals Phoenix Rising, sorry. We'll be covering FIFA 21, but we'll do fuller, like, long looks at those videos. So for now, we just quickly show off each one, quickly working here, so you know how back compat and everything just functions. So yeah, let's have a quick look at Virtual Fighter. We'll check out Cuphead, we'll check out Killer Instinct, and like those weren't really like hindered performance wise, right? So I just quickly show those working off. We'll go with it. I just quickly show those working, and then we'll look at Ori and No Man's Sky and Forza, because those are games that have had like actual, they ain't utilizing full next gen architecture, but just because of the raw performance and the better GPU and CPU, they get like updates, and the devs have put out patches to use some of those features. So we'll see what that looks like, because we've got a video of like Ori up on the channel, which when I covered on the S, you know, didn't run well on the S. So it would be nice to so yeah, we play a lot of fighting games here, and I might have been looking up like what the fighting game library looked on 360. I was like, oh, maybe I gotta build that collection up, you know, because I had a lot of those on PS3, and even now I don't boot up my PS3 that much because space under the telly and everything. But yeah, these are like this is the work that they've done on the Xbox One, right? The team at Microsoft have been trying to sort out their like back compat. So like they're just moving it onto like next gen, right? This doesn't support like quick resume at the moment, but like the plan is to support quick resume. And like wait, your order is taking too long time to sync the cloud. Oh, that's just like I think I may have played this on last gen, and because I was doing A/B testing, so it was probably saying what is going on with my save. But yeah, everything just when it works, it's just smooth. It's like you don't even have to think about it. Saves are auto synced. Last gen games just work. You know, but when it doesn't, like it sticks out like a sore thumb, because when it does, it's just so smooth to the extent you're like, wait, why hasn't it always been like this? Why hasn't, like, you know, why has it not been like that before? So yeah, this was a Xbox One game. That was a 360 game before that. If we quickly just go back to home here and we check out Killer Instinct. Chat goes, remember to jump dash. There may be a clip of me failing somewhere on this game famously. Another quick resume game. See, again, I didn't realize they had quick resume enabled for this. There was an update literally 2 days ago, so yeah. You know, just I'm a bit rusty at Killer Instinct.
I'm afraid your path ends here.
But yeah, just it's a nice feeling knowing that like loads of your last gen games would carry over, right? So like for things like if you played on Xbox One, it's just the easy choice, right? Your library's there. It would just it's forward compatible with everything. Is not even a question, right? And like if you was a 360 gamer and if you got a lot of library there as well, it makes the question way more interesting as well. Yes, that's you know, just cycling through and just stuff just works. Let's have a look at Ori. We'll cover this for a little bit longer. Another quick resume game. But what I'm finding as well, though, because quick resume ain't like 100% working flawlessly at the moment. Like I was looking on some forums, people going, oh, like Forza had issues with it, even though they've said Forza is one of the games that is having issues with it. Like I'm quitting out just to make sure. Chat goes, I'm assuming it isn't every 360 original Xbox game to play. Yeah, that's right. They for the longest time they was like putting out like every couple of months they would put out like updates to say, oh, this is compatible now, this is compatible now. So yeah, I'm assuming they're gonna like continue to do that. I just moved away from the hold on. I moved away from the map screen because yeah, I dropped. So we had a weed stream what I used to cover. I had a 1S, and this game did not run well on the 1S. I got a video up of it as well. So one, not only does it run like obviously way better, but again, it ran better on the 1X also. Which way am I going? I can't even. but it looks like, just looks like crazy sharp here. If I go into the performance options, this is one of the games that has been updated. Obviously, you're not going to be able to see it here because streaming and everything. It has a, you can play in 6K. Remember I said like it's a 4K console, but some games support like even a higher res, 6K, 8K, depends what it's going to be. So this supports super sampled 6K at 60 FPS or 4K at 120 FPS. With the miracle of Twitch and everything, obviously you're not gonna be able to see none of that. But yeah, I've kept it on super sampled 6K and it just looks so sharp, like ridiculously. That's like the first thing I've noticed, and like the second thing I've noticed is like loading, transitioning through areas and everything has just been so. I missed the warp point. I think it was up there. Actually, a better way to show this off. Again, I haven't played this game in ages. I can quick warp. Because the reason I want to show the warping stuff is because again, I got a video on the channel, on YouTube somewhere, on Twitch as well. Go check it out. Like the performance wise, especially when you warped in and out of areas. Like it would stutter like a lot. You know, and you're not seeing it here. So yeah, with it being super sampled and like even for 1080p, next gen games, last gen games running better, which obviously you would expect these consoles to do, but it's still pretty nice, you know. Let's I want to try the warping. Can we go to this one? Yeah, just smooth now. I think I tested this as well on let's slow down here. Yeah, these games have had like next gen upgrades. But obviously I'm assuming like there's only so much you can do, right? For a next gen upgrade, unless it was planned like long ago. You're gonna be limited on like how much of the next gen tech you can use, right? Again, sorry about the gameplay I'm playing like trash. Is being ages. more to show off performance. Yeah, that was a quick look at that was literally a quick look at Ori running on Xbox Series X. We'll do a couple of these. They'll go up on the channel, just so you can get A/B, more of performance rather than graphics and looks, because it's 720p stream. So yeah, let's have a quick look at like again, it's not fully using next gen architecture and everything, but it has had a boost, right? Always worried about licensed music here, so give me a sec. Load times obviously have been greatly improved. But yeah, what I've noticed with this game, everything just looks sharp now.
Welcome back, Potato.
Thank you. I have no regrets calling my avatar Potato. I like in this, I don't see any. Yes, I don't see any video options here. I think everything is just 4K 60. That's what I'm assuming. But yeah, like going from 1S to this, I'm like, wow. Everything just looks so sharp. It's like when you, like, if I was to boot this up on PC, I'm like, okay, I just turned res up like super high and filtering up super high. Just like, this is like the kind of stuff I was, I've had this for about a week now. This was like the kind of stuff I was testing over the weekend. I was like just driving up the bushes and I was like, huh, how sharp and clean do they look? You know, because like another thing with, like, right at the end of this video, we get like to the true air quotes next gen games, because nothing ain't gonna really be true next gen at the moment, because whenever a new console generation comes out and all the games that come out, they're like a weird in between, right? They're like games that were made to run on last gen and next gen. So like they're like in betweens. So even when you look at stuff like Assassin's Creed and like that has got next gen versions, and you know, only to a certain amount, like next year, I mean, is this a weird time for when consoles are releasing right now with COVID and everything? So everybody's working from home and stuff. It's also probably one of the reasons why, again, these consoles are coming in hot and there's like so many updates and stuff. Like you would hope like next year sometime is when you're truly going to start seeing like actual next gen games, right? Let's just quickly, sure, I'll take this Ferrari. Obviously there'll be music here. I've turned it off because switching DMCA stuff. Yeah, we'll do like we'll do one race just so this is good. Again, it's gonna be more a performance thing rather than a how nice do the graphics look, because everything's getting compressed on the stream. It's interesting though, because everybody's like, oh, you know, sure, you can play Forza on your next gen console, but like I said that this was probably the best arcade racer, or not, this was probably the best racer out last gen. So the fact that it's got like not major improvements on next gen, but it's still like being able to boot in super quick, you know, so I can always jump in for a race, and like I don't know if a lot of you saw the announcement, right? Then there's another Forza Horizon game coming out next year, I believe. So famously, it's been the Forza games, the mainline Forza games, and then it's been the Horizon games. But yeah, they've announced that no, I think like next year is going to be another Horizon game. And to me, that isn't shocking, right? Because I was always of the opinion, damn, this game was very good. Like my driving, like you see right here. This game was very good, so that doesn't surprise me that. Oh, the game that was meant like not just for hardcore racing game fans, it was more of an everybody game, and it was great. We're gonna turn around another one of those super quick because this game was hella great. So we'll see. Like where, like every Forza game, they base it off a different country or something, right? That's super hyped for that. And like the mainline Forza games, they've said that, oh, you know, we're gonna. Like the mainline Forza games have always been like a showpiece for tech and stuff. So like full, I'm assuming like full next gen is going to be the visual showpiece. Like racing games have always been that though, right? It's just like the mainline Forza games have always come timed with like new Xboxes releases and stuff, so to show it off. Yeah, this is what last gen Forza looks like. Everything looks sharper, it runs smoother. You know, it's just nice for having your last gen games just work, right? And especially ones that got patched. That was a random starter there. First time I'm seeing that here. Again, though, coming in hot. So Forza has been getting loads of updates as well. So obviously they're working on some stuff in the background. All right, let's do No Man's Sky. This is gonna take a minute to set up because I didn't set audio stuff for this beforehand, because I wanted to show off this is how cloud syncing works, just so I can show a demonstration of, this is cloud syncing. Also meant that I didn't set up audio stuff beforehand. So yeah, No Man's Sky has had this has had a more significant, bigger update. Like with this one, I don't know if it's like how much of next gen tech is using, but it's such a significant update. I would say way more than a couple of those other games that we've had updates for, because it's like the more foliage, bases can be bigger, richer, better textures, more stuff on planets, more foliage, you know. So No Man's Sky Origins update. No Man's Sky Origin brings a vast array of new features. For full details, please visit nomansky.com. Adds introducing strange new worlds to explore with more variety in planet biomes, vegetation, Colors, new planets are formed in the universe. Planets, sorry. More dramatic mountain landscapes. Planetary climates are more dynamic. Anyway, you get the idea. So let's go. Is this the first time we're seeing? I think the multiplayer stuff might have been updated for consoles as well. Like, they've added more players. I mean, it's been a while. Chat 2018. Okay, so. Yeah, let's just quickly boot into No Man's Sky. So some of the updates that they've said, right, is just like more vegetation and stuff, and like new texture packs, and it has been a while since I last played this, so this game had a massive turnaround from when it first launched, right? They've just continued to add content to it and like super turn it around, right? Such a cool thing we been able to do that. I wonder how far that is away. That still seems very far. Oh, no! Ah! Okay. Oof. Oops. Okay. That's not what I was going for. I mean, looks like more vegetation.
Radiation protection falling.
And that was just a quick, really quick look at No Man's Sky. We're gonna be circling through a lot of games today, so let's look at one of the games that actually got like you know so the special editions for Devil May Cry 5 is gonna come as DLC for last gen. But this actually had like a big few changes for um next gen. It got like the 120 FPS mode. It got um I should get out of this section so we can see. It got, let me actually go show you a level. It got the 120 FPS mode. It got ray tracing. But even this though, this was still a I think the beginning of this level will show off ray tracing. This was still a last gen game upgraded, right? It wasn't a from the ground up next gen game. This is why I was also saying that, you know, it's gonna take a while for everything to mature and like truly see the next gen benefits. I mean, this is still a nice looking game, but like most of the stuff they've added here is for like the reflections and the high frame rate, right? See where you can see Virgil's icon reflective. Real-time reflections, ladies and gents. I have been playing this a little bit off stream. We're going to be doing a proper first look. But even for games like this, what I've noticed though, like yeah, the extra graphics do look nice. I'm sure the 120 FPS mode is going to be the big change, but again, how many people are going to have the TVs to really, you know, take advantage of that? So a lot of these upgraded games do just feel like they're halfway steps, right? with this again, with the 120 FPS mode, it is a little bit different because that's a big change, and this has loads of DLC, like the virtual DLC and new modes and everything. But like, probably don't pick this up for, oh wait, this is gonna be like, this is what is really showing off next gen, right? Because to your like consumer who's not like really in the know, it's probably more gonna be to them, oh, look at all this extra content, which is actually the main thing here, not that, oh wait, look, these puddles have reflections. Sure, if they got 120 FPS monitor or TV, they'll be able to notice that. But you know, that was like, now we're starting to see some of the, you know, like next gen-y stuff. Next gen-y? Sure, that's what we'll go with, the next gen-y stuff. Like the reflections and things like that. But yeah, what will end this section is like, again, first look of the console and everything, and just like a quick glimpse of everything it can do, right? We're gonna jump to the big one is now. I mean, like, even if you look at like Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs and like, they had like next gen upgrades, right? Of everything I've played so far, we did cover loads of those on Pro and everything, PS4 Pro. But of all the games I've got here, in my opinion, like, this is one of the games where I was like, wow. So let's have a quick look. Again, there's gonna be a proper first long look of this, but just to show off in like a roundabout package of, you know, what is next gen and what does it bring and everything. The update for NBA 2K21. So this was a game that came out on last gen, but they did a full, you know, next gen upgrade, like new graphics, animations, reflections, like just like everything. So if we quickly go into a like play now, I have been, there's audio and everything here. Obviously I've turned off because licensed music and everything.
Hi everyone, greetings from 2K Sports. Get ready for
some of
NBA
it does
action.
take away because the PA
This is
announcer
Kevin Allen
I've
with
turned
Kellogg
off
and
also
Greg
here.
Anthony. David Aldridge is on our sideline. It's the
I've got like a
Miami
classic
Heat and the
NBA
Chicago
team here.
Bulls. So here's Miami's starting group. LeBron James is out there with Mourning.
But yeah,
Then it's
this
O'Neal.
looks
Then there's Dwayne Wade, and it's Hardaway
like
at the one spot. Now here's Rodman
fantastic.
after LeBron
Like, just
James has missed.
absolutely.
Now here's
We're gonna
Jordan.
be checking out the new FIFA. That's why I hold it off on checking out FIFA when it dropped a couple of months ago, because they're gonna apparently be doing a big.
Sweet move. And there's the whistle. 3-second violation.
They're gonna be doing a big next gen upgrade as well. But yeah, this.
And here's James. He'll bring it up for the
right,
Miami Heat.
now I'm gonna-
All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Thanks, Kevin. I was able to speak with Chicago's head coach. He told me we have to play really good interior defense. We know they want to get to the rim. We know
This
that's
is
the
like,
game
if you
plan.
buy a game and you
So
buy
we've
like a
got
new
some
expensive
tactics
bit of
to
tech,
keep them from
and
doing
you're
so.
like, oh, I
Guys,
wanna
we will see what they
I
came
wanna
up
show
with
off
in the
my
lab.
new
Thank you,
bit of
David.
tech. This is probably one of the ones you buy to go, God dang. And this is
About
like,
1 minute into the first quarter. Jordan against Wade. Jordan kicks to Pippen. 6 to shoot. Lobs it up for Jordan. Stolen by O'Neal. And here is Hardaway. They double him with Jordan. And it's Wade in the corner. Yes, and it's LeBron picking up the assist.
Like the sun rising every day, you can count on LeBron to have his head up scanning the floor and finding the open man.
Outside, Rodman. Stolen by Wade. One-on-one here. Here's Hardaway. Fouled in the act of shooting. Gets
And the
bucket
struggle is
anyway,
real.
So a three-point play chance for him.
you would think that I hadn't
Every
been
team
playing
looking
this
to
over
get
the
easy
weekend a
ones
little
in
bit.
transition.
I think one of the best ways, guys, to score in transition is that quick hitter. after the first burst.
The drive by Jordan, and he comes up with the deuce.
Always looking to drive in attack mode
So
constantly.
yeah, it's interesting that
When the D gives him
sports
the lane,
games
he tears
like
them up.
really show off next gen
Here's Hardaway.
graphics well, because like not everybody's into sports games, right?
And about 2 minutes played. here in the
Thankfully, I
first
like
quarter.
basketball and football, soccer,
Looking
depending
hand
on
on
where
it.
you're watching this video. So
Morning passes to LeBron. Shaq is screen on Pippen.
like they've
Too
obviously
long
had
in the
this.
paint, and he's hit with a 3-second violation. For
They've had
Miami,
this
they have
in-
made their only other free throw attempt today.
in the works for
Earlier trip to the
ages.
line. And the free throw no good, but they'll get the ball back here.
Because yeah, we saw like
Hardaway
120
has a really
FPS
nice
mode in
skill
Devil May
set. A
Cry,
nightly
but like
double-double threat thanks to his
this
scoring
feels
and
like
dime
way
dropping
more
ability.
substantial, right? Even at 1080p, what I'm
Bulls
looking
on
at it
the
now, I don't know how
They
much of that is
trail
going to
by
come
6.
across.
And the dunk by O'Neal.
And how about the
Because on a
reach
720p
of O'Neal
live
there,
stream,
a
right?
Huge target for his teammates on these alley-oops.
Outside Pippen. Michael Jordan on the wing. And it's Wade with the rebound. Play. We're about 3 minutes in. Shooting foul as the whistle blows.
And like look
He'll
at the
shoot 2 free
crowds
throws.
and the detail in the
And O'Neal
crowds and
clearly
way
one of the
more,
biggest human beings you'll
you know,
ever
not
see.
copy
A
pasted.
mammoth of a man.
See the
About a
same
seventh of a
person.
ton, and yet unstoppable.
But yeah, if you like basketball, you're gonna be having a field day this holidays, because
Good
I
on the
can't.
second free throw.
Again, we haven't done a full first look at this, so I can't speak on like how good the game is and everything,
Bulls
total
trail by
package wise
11.
and everything. But wow,
Right side,
like
Jordan.
this for next gen showpiece.
It's blocked by Shaq.
Love seeing O'Neal use his body to come up with those blocks. An imposing force and a pretty consistent defender as well.
Shot clock at 2. And here's Jordan outside.
And
the ball is
that's
good.
where we'll leave that
Jordan's
way. That's
got
like the
5.
perfect place. So yeah, that was just like like initial lineup, you know. Still very early on. We're going to be over the next month. We're going to be checking out like more games that are getting updated, like that are like, you know, like mid-gen, like next gen games and current gen games. So designed with both in mind. So keep an eye on like the channel for that. So yeah, let's like end with some final thoughts here. Yes, I've had it for like a week. These are some of the games that I've been playing on it. Still very early on. I will keep saying that these consoles getting, both sides are getting updated every week. Like games are getting updated. Like features are getting added. The features that we were told were gonna like just work are getting updated, like quick resume. Like this is like a moving product, as we say, right? So it's more of a like keep your eye on it. Let's hope the potential power advantage that the Xbox Series has on paper, let's see if it shows itself over the next 6 to 12 months. Let's see what true next gen games look like that come out next year that are fully designed for these new consoles. You know, so I was saying, like, once again, it's like, so you can't really review a console like day one. It's more of what does this look like in 6 months. But yeah, like from what I've experienced in the first week is it does feel more iterative, right? And like that's a good thing and a bad thing. I think it's more of the Xbox One X was so powerful and they did the back compatibility stuff so well there. They're just bringing that over, not just, but you know, they're bringing that over to Series X. But they're just feels like they're improving on that. Like it's not a brand new, we're gonna wipe the slate clean and start everything again. A lot of your old library comes over, a lot of the work they did there comes over. You know, the UIs are unified across all their things. Game Pass works here now. But you know, because it's still early generation, when I say early generation, couple of weeks, we've still got to really and truly wait, right? What happens in 6 months? What happens in a year's time? What interesting stuff do they do with the UI? How do people how do the controllers feel in 6 months to a year? What does truly next generation games look like? That's why it's like the question is still bigger of, where did you play last gen? Do you care more about first party or third party? Uh, if it's more third party, is the performance going to show itself? Um, where do your friends play? These are like the bigger questions at the moment. And like the last thing is like these are Xbox is sold out, PlayStation is sold out. It's so hard to get hold of it this Christmas. Um, like good luck if you're trying to get hold of whichever platform you are these holidays. Is being quite difficult. Like I said, if Xbox would not have sent us a review unit, we would have probably been doing this video 3 months down the line, because I wasn't trying crazy hard to get, stand in line, get hold of one. So if this is gonna be a Christmas present for you, like fingers crossed you do get it. But what we will be doing over the next couple of weeks, over the next couple of months, we will definitely be checking out loads of next gen content on Xbox, because this is what I have at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see like how these next gen, current gen games like translate over. All those videos will be going up on Twitch, will be going up over on YouTube. So keep an eye out for those. This video, like a shorter version, if you missed it, will be going up as a highlight over on Twitch and YouTube. If you're watching this over on YouTube or Twitch, leave a comment. Let me know. What do you think? What's your thoughts on it? I mean, it'll be interesting to come back to this video in like 6 months to a year and then see how things have progressed then. So yeah, I hope that was a good first look. If I'm not doing reviews here, especially of new consoles. I hope that was a good first look at the Xbox Series X and next generation. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like on it. Don't forget to come hit that follow button or hit that subscribe button, depending where you're watching on Twitch or YouTube. Don't forget we stream a couple times over a week on Twitch. We've got a community Discord and I post on Twitter all the time. All that information will be in the description. Come check us out. I'd appreciate it very much. And once again, yeah, keep an eye out for those. There'll be Devil May Cry 5, there'll be Tetris Effect, NBA 2K21, FIFA, Planet Coaster, and a couple of other new games that should be going up for the next few weeks. Much love. Peace.